Busy Bride 101, where we talk frankly and realistically about planning your wedding without losing your sanity. I'm Lisa, your wedding planner and hand holder in the trenches of timelines, seating charts, and budget spreadsheets. Today, we're tackling one of the most popular and sometimes stressful topics, DIY wedding projects. You've seen all the mood boards. You've watched the TikToks. Maybe you're hoarding a house full of mason jars, burlap, and hot glue guns just ready to go. But here's the question of the day. How do you know when a DIY project is worth your time and effort, and when it's smarter to call in a pro? I've seen it over and over again, the excitement and the exhaustion. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly where to draw the line. Let me begin with an unforgettable story. This is early in my career. I once had a bride who insisted on doing her own centerpieces. She went as far as hiring a florist to come over to her AirBnB a few days before the wedding to show her and her bridesmaids how to create them. Well, they set up shop in the garage. Buckets of blooms were everywhere. Laughter, music, and lots of enthusiasm filled the room. For that first hour, it was actually pretty fun. The florist gave them a mini masterclass. She was able to show them how to prep the stems, layer textures, and keep flowers hydrated. But once the florist left, dun dun dun, the vibe changed. The bridal party looked around at all the unfinished arrangements and realized, wait, who's actually going to finish these? Well, they spent another 2 hours piecing them together, and by midnight, everyone was exhausted. The flowers looked absolutely fine, but not amazing, just adequate. Yes, it was a sweet bonding moment, and the bride got the flowers she dreamed about. But the next day, when she saw them, she admitted it wasn't quite what she envisioned. That realization became a reminder that sometimes DIY feels right in theory, but doesn't always give you the look you imagined. That's why we're having this conversation today, to help you avoid that kind of wedding stress. Let's start with one of the most tempting DIY projects, wedding invitations. I'll give you the estimated DIY cost and the estimated pro cost. The DIY cost for wedding invitations, if you were to go on Canva and use one of their templates, is probably between $25 to $50. Printing and envelopes and postage roughly is between $200 and $400 total. And this is a total DIY around $250 to $450. Your pro cost for wedding invitations begins somewhere around $750 to about $1,500 plus. And if you love design and have time in your day between work life and home responsibilities to double check every spelling, DIY invitations can save you hundreds of dollars. But if you want things like gold foil, hand calligraphy, or a cohesive appearance that matches your venue aesthetic, hire a stationery designer. It's the first thing your guests see, and setting the tone is worth it. Another example, your wedding flowers. DIY cost for flowers, or if you buy them in bulk like in a big box shopping club or the internet, is going to run you between $300 and $700. Supplies are probably $75 to $150, totaling DIY up to $850. However, if you hire a professional florist, the minimum is probably going to cost you $2,000 upward up to $4,000, depending on your location, the complexity, and the season. If you want to DIY your centerpieces only, just go for it. That's a great middle ground. You can bond with your friends and get creative without the pressure of handling ceremony installations or bouquets. But wedding flowers are more than just centerpieces. There are ceremony florals at the altar, aisle petals, or arrangements that are placed every few rows. There are cocktail table accents, the bar, the gift table, cake, and the cake table. And don't forget the boutonnieres and corsages. Not everyone knows how to wire a boutonniere or secure a corsage. If you want a polished look in your photos, this is one place where hiring a florist is absolutely worth it. If you plan to repurpose those flowers after the ceremony, you'll need a group of people to move those items from one area to the next. This is best for a professional, not Cousin Jerry. You can download my free floral checklist at exquisiteevents.info/wedding checklist, and it walks you through every floral item you might need so nothing gets missed. Next up, wedding cake. Who doesn't love the idea of baking their own wedding cake? But let's be honest. I mean, come on. That's a big lift, and you haven't even thought about a cake stand to display your sweet creation. The DIY cost to probably make your cake with ingredients, the pans, the tiers, and the decor is going to probably be between $100 and $250. The pro cost, the minimum, is probably going to start at $500 and go on up. If you're a seasoned baker or planning a small, casual wedding, go ahead and DIY this. But for most brides, and I'm talking to you, let someone else handle the refrigeration, stacking, and transportation, because the last thing you want to do on your wedding morning is fix a frosting disaster. Next, typically forgotten and last minute, are the decor and signage. This is where DIY can really shine. Chalkboards, welcome signs, table numbers, and photo displays all are great ways to personalize your space. These items can be bulky, making them hard to pack and deliver in your compact car. Keep this in mind when considering your options. The DIY cost probably $50 to $150. The pro cost, minimum probably $300 on up. But just go for it. Just keep it consistent. Stick with 2 to 3 materials and colors so it feels intentional and not cluttered. Guest favors. Favors can be fun, but they're one of the easiest ways to lose time and money. The DIY cost is from $1 to $3 each, and using a pro could cost from a minimum of $3 each on up. If you're assembling something cute such as candles or grandma's cookies or local treats, plan it at least a week out. Don't wait until the night before the wedding to wrap 150 jars of honey. Your sanity matters more than a custom tag. Last but not least, photography and videography. This one's simple. Do not DIY photography. Your family's DSLR camera is not a backup plan. DIY cost is, let's say, if you're renting the gear, it's free. Upwards on to $200 to do that on your own. But to hire a professional, probably the minimum you're going to spend is $2,500 on up. Your photos are the one thing you keep forever. Professionals know lighting, timing, and editing. All the things that make your day look like it felt. If you're listening while multitasking, here's your quick takeaway. DIY projects can absolutely add personality to your day, but they shouldn't leave you tired, stressed, or disappointed when you look back at your photos. The moral of the story? DIY is great, but in moderation. If you love crafting and have the time, pick 1 or 2 projects that genuinely excite you, like custom signage or favors. But when it comes to things that require skill, precision, or affect your photos like florals, photography, and cake, do yourself a favor and bring in the pros. Your wedding day isn't a craft project. It's a celebration. You deserve to enjoy it, not manage it. And remember, you can grab my floral checklist at www.exquisiteevents.info/wedding checklist to make sure you know exactly which flowers to include from ceremony to reception and everything else in between. Until next time, Happy planning!